Good evening, I'm Justin Betty. As the number of new COVID-19 case numbers and hospitalization numbers continue to grow here in the Northwoods and central Wisconsin, simply having enough tests and people to conduct those tests is once again becoming an issue. But there's a new method of testing that may help with that and that many people may prefer to the traditional nasal swab. Newswatch 12's Megan Mablock joins us now live in studio to explain. Megan?
UW Health Madison and many other healthcare providers nationwide have started to test for COVID-19 in a less invasive way. It's called a saliva test.
UW health leaders say they started looking into saliva testing after finding literature published by researchers at Yale that intrigued them.
Where they determined that the saliva test was in many respects equal and in some ways better even than the nasal swab.
Medical Director of Infection Prevention, Dr. Nasia Safdar, says saliva testing also has an unexpected benefit that can protect healthcare workers.
And the biggest thing is, when you're doing a nasal swab on someone, it often will provoke a cough. And so that is not the case with saliva. And so I think from the standpoint of the individual collecting the specimen, saliva seems to be a safer option than the nasal swab.
UW health leaders say the only downside to the saliva test is when the flu season begins and it intermingles with COVID, as it won't be as accurate as the nasal swabs.
I think for those who have symptoms, COVID is one possibility, but so will influenza be when the season comes around and other things. And you can't test for those on saliva. So it's better to get a swab for those patients.
However, the benefit to the new test is there are now two options that are ready and available across the nation.
Its main use seems to be for asymptomatic COVID patients, or patients who don't have symptoms where we want to rule out that they have COVID positivity.
While the saliva test is growing in popularity across the country, it is not yet available here in the Northwoods. Justin?
Thanks, Megan. Outside, Jeff, some rain in the forecast this week?
Yeah, plenty of sunshine out there now, but rain is back in the forecast for us tomorrow along a cold front. That is going to change our lives for several days, as we'll have high temperatures by Thursday in the low 40s. Out there now, though, not so much. It's 56 in Rhinelander. Also for Antigo, 58 for Merrill, 57 for Point. So you get the idea. It's very comfortable out there now, but don't get too used to these temperatures because a big change is on the way. So here we are now, lots of clear skies across the state, but there is this just to the west of us right now. That is moving our way for tomorrow. Behind that is some really cold air that will stay with us for pretty much as far as the eye can see. Your forecast tonight, though, is partly cloudy skies and comfortable with lows down near 40. Your full forecast is coming up. Justin?
Thanks, Jeff. The number of new daily COVID-19 deaths and the number of new COVID-19 cases in Wisconsin both hit new record highs today. According to latest numbers from the Department of Health Services, DHS reports 3,279 new cases just today. That's only our second time above 3,000. They also report 34 new deaths in Wisconsin. Our previous record was 27. In our 12-county north central Wisconsin region, we've been holding steady for about a week now. DHS reports at least 117 people in the hospital right now. 30 of those, they say, are in the ICU. The Wausau School District started this school year almost entirely online. They're concerned about COVID-19. But they've been debating for about a month now about whether, when, and how to return to in-person classes. Well, last night, the school board voted 5-4 to reopen schools starting November 2nd. That's about 3 weeks from now. The board originally planned to vote on starting classes on October 2nd. That vote was pushed back twice because of an inability to come to an agreement. But starting next month, elementary students will be taught in a socially distanced group environment, while upperclassmen will alternate in two groups, a hybrid learning setup. Some parents tell us they've been pushing for in-person classes right from the start.
I was happy to hear that a step in the right direction, has been taken. I heard a lot of good, positive information about looking to the districts surrounding them, which is what we've been trying to point to this entire time in this situation.
Now, parents who are still on the fence about returning to in-person classes do still have the opportunity to continue with a virtual curriculum through the district. We'll have more on this story coming up on Newswatch 12 at 6. Whether you're a recent college grad, you're getting ready to graduate, or just a student looking for work, the Better Business Bureau of Wisconsin now warns that college students are the latest target of a job scam. According to organization's scamming report, the Bureau has seen an increase, almost 25% compared to just last year. Employment scams specifically more than doubled. Regional Director for the Bureau, Susan Bach, notes that the increase has a lot to do with COVID-19.
The kinds of jobs that attract college students are those part-time jobs, work from home, and this is kind of the perfect setup, the perfect storm for that. And so this is kind of why we think the amount of these types of scams has really increased.
Bach adds it's important to know the signs and red flags of potential scam. Some steps to avoid these types of unemployment scams or employment scams include just doing your research. Make sure a company is legitimate. Be attentive to their grammar in emails. Mistakes mean it might be a scam. If they're willing to do a hire without conducting a formal interview, all things you should watch out for, including if they are asking for money.
A lot of people, they fault themselves. How could I have fallen for this? They should know that this is really a very common scam, but you definitely let people know.
We'll have more on this issue coming up on Newswatch 12 at 6. The Rhinelander Area Food Pantry is hosting another food giveaway this week. It's scheduled for Friday, October 16th, starting at 9 a.m. Any individual or family, regardless of income, is welcome. This is a no-contact pickup. If your trunk is open and there's room, they'll load the food in for you. Everyone will be required to wear a mask. There's also a food box distribution this week in St. Germain. That also on Friday, October 16th. This one from noon until 5. It'll be at the front of the St. Germain Town Park Pavilion. They're giving away over 1,000 boxes of food, and there's 30 pounds of food per box. Like in Rhinelander, if your trunk is open, they'll load the food in for you. Everyone is eligible and welcome to come. The Mercer Public Library is inviting children and families to come to a trunk or treat event in their library parking lot. That event will take place on Halloween, October 31st from 2 until 4. No charge. Everyone is welcome to come. Trunk or treat booths will be spread out, trying to ensure social distancing. Families are also encouraged to keep their distance and wear masks. Of course, this event is still all subject to the weather being okay on Halloween. Any business, organization, or individual who would like to set up a booth or get involved should contact the Mercer Public Library. Marijuana remains a hot topic in many places across the country, including here in the Northwoods, about potentially legalizing it. We talked to one group who is trying to familiarize people with the concept. We'll hear from them coming up after weather with Jeff right here on Newswatch 12.
Because of this, we built Ford Super Duty to be the most capable heavy-duty pickup ever. Because of this, we built Ford F-150 with 375 horsepower. Because of this, we built Ford Ranger with the terrain management system. And because Ford trucks are built for this, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. Now get a built Ford Tough F-150 XLT with $10,272 in total savings.
Gas taxes, income taxes, Social Security taxes. 47 years and Joe Biden's voted to raise them all. Biden's voted for higher taxes on your marriage, on your kids, on your retirement, and even when you die.
Guess what? If you elect me, you're not going to have your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
Experts say Biden's plan means higher taxes on all income groups. When Joe Biden says he'll raise your taxes, he means it. America First Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
When Joe Biden wants an update on the virus, he calls on the nation's top health experts. Working together for all Americans is what Joe does. When writing his healthcare plan, Joe Biden worked with both doctors and patients to make healthcare affordable by lowering premiums, reducing drug costs, and protecting people with pre-existing conditions. Joe listened to both small business owners and workers to create his economic plan that cuts taxes for middle-class families, creates 18 million new jobs in his first term, and raises wages by as much as $15,000 a year. Joe Biden's plans will help working families immediately by making the super rich finally pay their fair share. For Joe, it's never been about ego. It's always been about the work he can do for working families. It's what he's always done. Joe Biden brings everyone to the table and gets it done.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message. High Point Sand and Gravel provides high-quality riprap, sand, and screened topsoil for almost any need. The high-quality rock and stone, boulders, and clear stone enhance the function and beauty of your home or business. Offering convenient delivery or pickup throughout northern Wisconsin and the UP, High Point Sand and Gravel provides premium landscaping materials, specializing in producing beautiful decorative stone for all types of landscaping projects. Contact High Point Sand and Gravel to help make your next project a dream come true.
Huge online auction in Eagle River. Lake New pontoon boats, Sea-Doo, boat lifts, John Deere tractor, hot tub, expensive Northwoods furniture, and more. Contact Brass and St. Louis Auctions for more details.
There you are, plenty of sunshine today with high temperatures back up in the 50s, but these hours are numbered as we have much colder air on the way. Tomorrow we're going to go for 50 but fall through the afternoon into probably the upper 30s by about this time tomorrow evening. Outside right now though, it's 56 and sunny at the airport in Rhinelander with a west wind at 16. It's still a little gusty out there right now. Over in Wausau is not reporting at the airport, but temperatures nearby are at 57 with a calm wind right now. The pressure is rising before it begins to fall later on tonight. Around the Horn, everybody's having a very comfortable day. This is what the temperatures should do this time of year, middle 50s or so. Tomorrow, though, we'll go for 50 and then fall pretty much all day long. And then this happens. 50 tomorrow, 42 for a high on Thursday, 41 for Friday, yay, right? And then 40 for Saturday. So here we are, kind of a return to winter very quickly. And within this, the cold air is going to be locked in place for several days. And we could get a system in here Saturday into Sunday that could bring us some rain mixing with a little bit of snow. But for now, break out the puffy coat because cool air is on the way. We'll have lows in the 20s, highs near 40, and windy. You're definitely going to want the good jacket out there. All right, right now, though, the clouds out there are pushed off to the east from this morning. We're in a pretty good spot. It's going to be a beautiful sunset tonight, followed by increasing clouds later on tonight. That'll actually help hold temperatures up just a bit after midnight with low temperatures down near 35 or so. And then tomorrow, though, it's going to give us some rainfall. All right, so here's system one kind of pushing out of here right now. See you later. Behind it, this high pressure building in temporarily because this thing right there is right on its heels, and there is just a lot going on in the atmosphere to the west of us right now. This high is going to retreat. This low right there is going to move our direction, and then once that comes through tomorrow, this is the really cold air behind that that's going to lock in for a week or two around here and bring us what could be a couple chances for a little bit of snow getting in here this weekend. It's also going to get incredibly windy tomorrow ahead of the front. We could see wind gusts near 30 miles per hour from about tomorrow midday into tomorrow night. So get ready if it's garbage day for you to keep that garbage can close by. So here is where the snow is currently on the ground. Not a lot, right? Quebec's got some right now. The Rockies got a little bit. But this map is going to really expand this week. And there's more. There is more than one model now developing a storm system across the high plains that'll bring us a path of snow into northern Wisconsin late Friday into Saturday. Not a lot of snow. Don't call grandma and tell her to stay home, but we could see some snowflakes in the air late Friday into Saturday. Your forecast for tonight, though, is increasing clouds out there. Low temperatures down near 35 to 39 with a west wind around 5. For tomorrow, okay, so not like today. So cloudy and windy with rain showers pretty much all afternoon tomorrow. High temperatures near 50 and falling through the afternoon on a southwest wind that could gust near 20 miles per hour. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress shows rain tomorrow, quiet Thursday and Friday, but much cooler as you can see. And then there's that system for the weekend, a rain-snow mix. It will not be a heavy snow, but definitely some snow back in the forecast late Friday into early Saturday morning. Justin?
Thanks, Jeff. Democrats and their allies say they'll ask the U.S. Supreme Court to decide whether absentee ballots here in Wisconsin must be received by Election Day or just postmarked by then. Democrats argue the flood of absentee ballots and other challenges posed by COVID-19 make it necessary to extend the period to count ballots until 6 days after the election, as long as they're mailed by Election Day. Republicans oppose this move, saying voters have plenty of time to cast their ballots and that the rules should not change so close to the election. The most recent ruling in this case is that ballots must be in by 8 p.m. on election night. Across the country, 11 states have now legalized recreational marijuana. More than half have legalized it for medical use. Not Wisconsin, though, where it all remains illegal in all forms. Newswatch 12's Sierra Whaley spoke to local representatives of a national group trying to change that. She joins us now live in studio with more. Sierra?
That's right, Justin. The National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, or better yet, NORML, understands everyone isn't for marijuana reformation, but they want to make sure that you know the facts.
Once you educate the opposition on why they're opposed and get them thinking and looking at things a little bit different, it just becomes much easier for them to understand the complex nature of marijuana reform.
Those are the words of Jay Salthoffner, founder of Northern Wisconsin NORML, vocalizing marijuana reform, a sensitive topic in the Northwoods.
One of the major obstacles we have is, overcoming stereotypes and misinformation and those types of things. So the gateway theory is a theory that comes up a lot in the general course of conversations with elected officials.
Recently, Representative Rob Swearingen made it clear he's against marijuana reformation, calling it a gateway drug, which triggered NORML to educate the community on the term.
We start talking about the gateway theory. Almost a majority of the experts really are believing that marijuana is not linked to the use of other illicit substances.
Earlier this year, Governor Evers expressed his dissatisfaction with lawmakers for not legalizing marijuana. Salthoffner says although there's a small divide with those in favor and those opposed to legalization, it's all about getting the facts straight.
So what we also want to do is we want to serve as that liaison or as that bridge for people like yourself, so that when candidates or when somebody in the public says something like that, you're able to question them further because you have the knowledge and the resources.
Whether you agree with marijuana reform or not, NORML wants to educate and create an understanding, not set anyone apart.
It's a pretty amazing time to see a viable agricultural crop return to our country and return to our state, and to be part of that is patriotic in itself.
With neighboring states such as Michigan and Illinois who've legalized marijuana, officials in Wisconsin are still looking to find a fitting policy. Justin?
Thanks, Sierra. We often hear about how climate change is affecting the world in Arctic areas or in dry climates. However, local fish populations are also feeling the effect. We hear from the local experts on that topic after the break.
It could be you, could be your neighbor. Nearly half of us have a pre-existing condition. And right now, most have insurance. But Derek Van Orden called the Affordable Care Act a disaster. The plan he supports would allow insurance companies to deny coverage for people with pre-existing conditions and charge people over 50 thousands of dollars more. Van Orden's plan is simple. Don't get sick. Derek Van Orden doesn't care about us. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
There are never enough hours in the day. I'm always making trade-offs, sacrifices. But I'll keep going. Even when it feels like there's no way I can do it all, I won't give up. I'm doing this for me and for them. We're doing this together. North Central Technical College's virtual college, flexible learning, because our time is precious.
Clean water. Some of us take it for granted. Not me. I'm Beth Myers. I have the honor of representing you in the State Assembly. It wasn't that long ago that my family was struggling. We went 7 years without running water. The health of our families and our economy depends on clean water. That's why I'm fighting so hard against special interests who want to pollute our land and water. I'm Beth Myers, and I promise I will never take you or the Northland for granted.
Decades of unfair trade deals shuttered thousands of family farms in Wisconsin. But President Trump worked out a fix for farmers, a great trade deal, USMCA. Ron Kind and Nancy Pelosi, they played politics. They held up the trade fix for 8 months while Wisconsin farms closed. I'm Derek Van Orden. In the SEALs, I learned that leaders take action and put their people first. And that's why I approve this message.
Walleye populations in the areas like the Minocqua chain of lakes remain at dangerously low numbers right now, and according to local fishing experts, they're likely to remain low, perhaps even get worse. Right now, the state's walleye management plan allows only catch and release fishing of walleye, trying to help the population grow. But Frank Pratt, who works for Wisconsin Green Fire, says a lot of cold water fish species are really struggling right now for reasons that have nothing to do, or little to do, with anglers.
Climate change is definitely restructuring our fisheries. There's no doubt about it. And if you're looking at cold water and cool water species, everything from brook trout on up to walleye, you're definitely looking at a decline situation, possibly even an extinction situation.
Pratt says biologists still aren't sure exactly why the fish's populations are declining the way they are.
There have been massive changes in our fish communities in northern Wisconsin, and the man behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz in this thing is clearly climate change. But there are lots of complex factors that are interacting, and for some species in some lakes, we don't really understand exactly how.
Pratt adds some species which prefer warmer water temperatures, like sunfish and bluegill, are actually doing better these days. Let's talk about climate. As far as the weather is concerned, we are going to see a cool off pretty soon, but blue skies right now. We'll have details after the break.
My body is truly powerful.
I have the power to lower my A1C because my body can still make its own insulin.
And Trulicity activates my body to release it, lowering my blood sugar from the first dose. Once weekly Trulicity responds when my body needs it 24/7. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It's not insulin.
It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include indigestion, fatigue, belly pain, decreased appetite, nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems.
I have it within me to lower my A1C.
Ask your doctor about Trulicity.
I don't buy for 1 second that the vitality of American manufacturing is a thing of the past. We're going to impose a tax penalty on companies that avoid paying U.S. taxes by offshoring jobs and manufacturing, to reward companies for creating good-paying jobs here at home, deliver on the promise to buy American. And we're going to make it happen with American grit, American determination, and American union workers. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Menards has everything you need to update the look and function of your garage. Ideal garage doors come in over 1,000 styles, including insulated options, providing beauty, comfort, and security. Hook your new door up to a Chamberlain garage door opener. With MyQ technology, you can control your opener from your smartphone. All Ideal garage doors and Chamberlain openers are 11% off. Save big money with 11% off everything. Now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Gas taxes, income taxes, Social Security taxes. 47 years and Joe Biden's voted to raise them all. Biden's voted for higher taxes on your marriage, on your kids, on your retirement, and even when you die.
Guess what? If you elect me, you're not going to have your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
Experts say Biden's plan means higher taxes on all income groups. When Joe Biden says he'll raise your taxes, he means it. America First Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
High Point Sand and Gravel provides high-quality riprap, sand, and screened topsoil for almost any need. The high-quality rock and stone, boulders, and clear stone enhance the function and beauty of your home or business. Offering convenient delivery or pickup throughout northern Wisconsin and the UP, High Point Sand and Gravel provides premium landscaping materials, specializing in producing beautiful decorative stone for all types of landscaping projects. Contact High Point Sand and Gravel to help make your next project a dream come true.
This portion of News Watch 12 is brought to you by Coyote 93.7.
A Stanford professor got some eye-opening great news through his doorbell camera early Monday morning. Bob Wilson walked over to his neighbor's house to relay the news. He and his neighbor, Stanford professor Paul Milgram, are sharing the Nobel Prize in Economics this year.
Oh, is that all?
But they couldn't reach him at 2 a.m. Pacific, 2 a.m., so he's like, well, I'll go knock on my neighbor's door. Let him know. He'll be happy to hear it. So he volunteered to walk next door and share the news, and they got their prize for work in the field of auction theory, whatever that means, but good for them.
Yeah, good for them. And, you know, that'd be a strange doorbell ring at 2 a.m. You know? Because you automatically assume the worst, right?
2 a.m., you think you're having a dream, and it's
like, what's that noise?
You won the Nobel Prize. What?
What? All right, let's go outside now, check on the graphics. We have temperatures in the 50s, but these hours are numbered as we have colder air on the way. A cold front's approaching from the west right now. We have several more hours of partly cloudy skies tonight. It's going to be a nice evening tonight. Yeah. But then this is going to come through tomorrow by about noon. Behind that is the really cold stuff, and behind that could be a little bit of snowfall late Friday into Saturday as temperatures, cold ones, will be locked in place for now until all week as far as we can see. And there's a system getting in here late Friday into Saturday. Overnight temperatures below freezing. We could see a bit of snow. Again, not a big deal, but our first kind of snow of the year.
Wasn't it about this time last year we got kind of dumped on early?
Columbus Day weekend was the first snow, so we're kind of behind schedule.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Thank you for joining us on Newswatch 12 at 5. NBC Nightly News is next.